Congressman Mike Quigley is a Democrat of Illinois representing his state's 5th congressional district. He joins me now. Hi, Congressman.
How are you? Good to be back.
Good. I mean, we're under occupation, but we're well for now here in D.C. Congressman,
Sure.
The mayor said today that she doesn't believe it's legal to use the American military against American citizens on American soil. What do you think?
Well, first, it's un-American, it's illegal, and the ability to have any sort of control over D.C. rests with Congress. But the president has never let those trifling issues get in his way. This is a scary bullying tactic. People should be offended by it, and they have to push back. There's always been this dynamic where my Republican friends across the aisle have always seen the District of Columbia sort of a petri dish, where if they can't push back on social issues in the 50 states or any other areas, well, we can do it in D.C., doggone it. So never mind local determination. They're for states and individuals' rights, unless they're not. And you're seeing this bear out by the fact that they certainly won't push back on the president.
The president threatening to go into places like Chicago next.
No, I think Los Angeles was a test case. And, I think he sees it, that it plays well with his base. And the fact is that there's a lot of things not going well. The economy, the cost of living, clearly Epstein issues, and more foreign policy. So you typically divert when that's the case, try to change the storyline, and that's obviously a horrific example of that playing out in D.C., but I don't think there's an area of the country that should feel like it's immune from what the president's going to try to do there.
Yeah, you're right. Things are not going particularly well, and the price of things going up, and the president's numbers not great, even on immigration, which was such a strength for him heading into his presidency. You've got some legislation, or no, a request to recognize a Palestinian state. Well,
I think the majority of Americans, I always have supported a two-state solution. It's the only long-term solution that can bring a future where both countries can live in peace. And I think there needs to be security guarantees built into this, obviously, but there's a window here. The Arab League has, for the very first time, called for, spoken out against what happened October 7th, and said Hamas needs to disarm, that we need to install a stabilization mission. And again, this is in no way meant to give Hamas any break on the issue. I've always supported Israel's right to defend itself, to do what they need to do to get the hostages back. But most of the hostage release took place through diplomatic means. So most of us are very concerned with what Netanyahu is threatening to do in Gaza now, and what's already taking place with West Bank violence. So you got to say, okay, look, the two-state solution has to start somewhere. And I understand it can't be under Hamas control. This can't be any way to help Hamas, just the opposite. But we can't sit by after more than 60,000 Palestinians have died, half of whom are women and children. UNICEF said 1 in 3 Palestinians in Gaza are going without food, and more than 320,000 young children are at risk of acute malnutrition. You just can't sit by and watch it. You have to do something to shake your friend and wake them up and say, you have to stop this. This is my effort to play a role in that.
You say that the U.S. has failed to uphold and enforce international law.
Well, it's absolutely the case here. And, it really didn't happen under the Biden administration. So now's the effort to try to do that. And look, I'll take President Trump at his word. He said, that he recognized the starvation that was taking place, and he said, even if we have to do it ourselves. Now, do I believe he really meant it? No, but the fact is, he was stating a fact. He was stating something that was right. He should use his leverage with Netanyahu, follow through on his word, and spearhead an effort, a U.S. effort, to set up safe, accessible food centers in Gaza. Our role in this conflict has to reflect our values as a nation. And we want a lasting peace and a long-term political future. But I've been in this business 26 years as an elected. I've never seen such a painful, divisive moment as we're witnessing, and I witness it firsthand in my district. But my friends who disagree with me have to appreciate disagreeing with Israel doesn't mean I like Hamas or want to help them. Mm-hmm. And this doesn't help them. And it's frustrating as anything I've ever been through to witness what's taking place right now.
Congressman, you also co-chair the Congressional Ukraine Caucus, and you and some other lawmakers calling for the Trump administration to protect the legal status for Ukrainians.
Sure. Look, when Russia invaded Ukraine, tens of thousands of Ukrainians were forced to flee their country. Many of them obviously fleeing horrifying scenes, war crimes, abduction. I was in Bucha. I stood on the mass grave of Ukrainians from the first Russian invasion there, the first thrust of it. And I've also seen my district in parts of Ukrainian village where those refugees have fled to. But right now, we did the right thing when this happened. We took in thousands of Ukrainians through the Uniting for Ukraine program, and that helped them live and work here legally, contributing to the communities. They took refuges, giving back to our nation. Now those Ukrainians are caught in a legal limbo. They've applied for renewals in their legal status or for new renewal in their work permits, and there's this massive backlog. So this uncertainty is cruel to a group of people who have seen enough in their home nation under the attack every day. So it's unsustainable for our own communities. So it's time to act. Look, I'll say one more thing. I was in a formerly occupied area of Ukraine in my last visit there. It was a small village in which roughly 200 people were forced to live during the period of occupation in a small basement. Many of them died. As I was leaving through an interpreter, one of the villagers, an older woman, said to me, if you don't help us, the Russians will be back. Oh. So we have to recognize them and help them there, and we have to help those who fled that horror here. And it's all easily done, and it's in our interest to do it from a moral and strategic point of view.
Congressman Mike Quigley is a Democrat of Illinois, representing the 5th Congressional District in the state. Congressman, thank you so much.
Thank you. Anytime.
Take care.